Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here with the second of 5 top 10 lists I've got coming your way. And I'm guessing you've noticed the change of venue here. I'm actually doing this video inside of my grandparents' house because 1, it's raining like hell outside, and 2, I thought for this top 10 series I would try to do a different top 10 in a different location. Kind of like showing you guys around my house, similar to my vlogs, but I just wanted to make it seem special and unique for each of the top 10s I'm doing. And I just want to warn you, if you guys hear any noise in the background, it's probably my grandparents watching TV, or they're talking, or the rooster is crowing in the backyard. Don't mind that at all. And at the request from one of my subscribers named Ryan Sip, who posted on my Facebook fan page, oh, excuse me there. He posted there asking me, instead of starting off with my best of list, that I just start off with my worst of list. And I am more than willing to oblige him with that, even though it's gonna cause me some physical pain to talk about these things again, but we can get them out of the way, and then we can get to the good. That's how he saw it, and I personally agree with that. I like ending on a good note, even though I kind of like to begin on a good note, so at least I'm cheerful. But regardless, let's kick it off by talking about the top 10 worst films of 2014. Oh boy. Now, 2014 was kind enough to grace us with a lot of great films that I thoroughly enjoyed watching. But there were other times where it was not so kind, and it gave me shit upon shit upon shit to watch when I went to the cinema. And now I get to relive the nightmares for you guys to enjoy. Lucky you! Now I know this is beating a dead horse when I say this, but I just want to make this clear. And this is the only time I'm going to bring this up as a disclaimer for all the top 10 lists that I'll be doing in the coming days. These are just my opinions, my choices of the best or worst films or the best or worst animes that I saw this year. You may agree with some of my choices, you may outright disagree with many of my choices, or you may feel like you saw something worse or you saw something better. These were just the movies and animes that I personally saw this year that I enjoyed or I disliked. So as long as you keep an open mind, we're gonna get along just fine. And before we begin our descent into hell, I do have a couple dishonorable mentions. These are films that I just didn't enjoy watching this year, but were saved by the terribleness of the films that made it onto the top 10 list. And they are as follows: Blended, Edge of Tomorrow, Tammy, Real 2, and finally, Maleficent. And with those out of the way, let's get to the list, shall we? Proving that plagiarism is still alive and well is my number 10 choice, Earth to Echo. This film felt like it was made by like the biggest fan of E.T. while they were growing up, but just didn't understand how to tell a compelling story with interesting characters. And as I mentioned in my review, I am not gonna give this film a pass just because it was made for kids. That is not a valid excuse not to tell an interesting and coherent story. Earth to Echo just needs to leave this planet and go back where it came from and stay there. Your objection for the judge being in the number 9 spot has been overruled. An Oscar film trying desperately to be an Oscar film is the best way to describe The Judge. With its hammy acting, weak and emotionally manipulating storytelling, less than compelling courtroom scenes, and some of the worst lighting I've ever seen. For not only a courtroom drama, but for any movie. I mean, that shit shined bright like a diamond. Robert Downey Jr., you are so lucky that you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe to fall back on, because this movie was terrible, man. I'm sorry. I like you, but it's not good. It's not a good movie, Robert. Sending a plague upon us with its mere existence is my number 8 choice, Exodus, Gods and Kings. It's a piss-poor retelling of the story of Exodus that focuses on style over substance. And how embarrassing is it for this film that The Prince of Egypt, an animated musical that came out 16 years ago, did a better job at not only being faithful to the source material, having an accurate representation of what Hebrew Hebrews and Egyptians looked like at that time, but also told a much more darker and compelling story in under 2 hours. Exodus Gods and Kings never even came close to that. Ridley Scott, man, what has happened to you, man? You have just been on this downhill spiral ever since Prometheus, man. What happened? Proving that the old school is not always the best school is my number 7 choice, The Expendables 3. A franchise that desperately needs to be put out of its misery. The novelty of this franchise has been all but spent, and the nostalgia market for it has dried up, and it is clearly shown by the box office returns of this film. It didn't do so well at the box office, guys, and for good reason. It's not a good movie. It's not a good throwback to 80s movies. I don't remember 80s movies being this fucking dull. Stallone, I implore you. No, I beg you. Do not make another Expendables film. If this is the best that you can do, just kill it right now. And there's no market for it, man. It's not profitable anymore. Nobody wants to see the Expendables franchise anymore. Just work on your directorial skills. Go direct an action movie. You can do that. You know how action movies work. You could be a fantastic action director. Just put down the mantle with the Expendables franchise. Lay it to rest. Proving that spy espionage thrillers are really hard to pull off is my number 6 choice, 3 Days to Kill. Now I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. My choices from number 6 all the way to number 1, I've completely forgotten what they're all about. Like, I can't even recollect what the story was or who the characters were, and that goes double for 3 Days to Kill. It was Kevin Costner's like a spy, and he teams up with Amber Heard, and they gotta find this one dude, and he bonds with his daughter, and he lives with this black family in Paris, I think. I don't remember. It's a forgettable, non-thrilling thriller directed by Mick G and written by Luc Besson. What did you expect? Amber Heard was hot in the movie. That's something I remembered. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Number 5. Let's be cops. How about let's not be cops? By the way, that line I just said was actually brought up to me by one of my subscribers in my Let's Be Cops review, saying that I missed a golden opportunity to say the line, let's not be cops. And he was totally right. I didn't even think about it because I was so frustrated about the film, but yes, I did miss a golden opportunity there, but now I rectified the situation here in the top 10 worst list. This film was desperately seeking for its funniness and never found it throughout the entire duration of its film. It's just not funny. It's not entertaining. It just comes off as boring. They sucked at school, and now their film sucked ass, and that's my number 4 choice, Vampire Academy. They should just rename this film High School Bullshit the Movie with some vampire elements thrown into the mix. This film tried to be quirky but wasn't, tried to tell an interesting story with fun characters but failed, and thought that it had some intense and compelling action scenes when in reality it did not. At the end of the day, the film just comes off as high school bullshit put on the screen for us to watch, but most of us don't need to see it. We either have lived it or are currently living it, so why do we need to watch it? And a word of advice to the film and the people behind it: don't poke fun of another teen vampire franchise when you're just as boring, just as uninteresting, and just as weak as the one that you're poking fun of. It's not funny, it's just pathetic. It's alive when it should have just stayed dead is my number 3 choice, I, Frankenstein. What to say about I, Frankenstein? I don't remember the story. I don't remember any of the characters. I do remember how terrible the CGI was and how boring the action scenes were. Vaguely. Bill Nye, he plays a villain in the film. Doesn't really stand out. He just felt like he was going through the motions. He's just playing the same character he plays all the time. And Aaron Eckhart was trying to sound like the Dark Knight. It's a forgettable movie, guys. Like, there's a reason it came out in January, because it's a terrible movie. It's bad. That's all that needs to be said about the film. Oh god, here we go. Let's talk about this one now. Number 2, Sex Tape. a very long rant about this film in my review, which you can probably see by clicking the link over here. But I'm gonna condense it like this. There are so many things in this world that I could go without seeing ever again. Sex tape is one of them. Because if there's one thing I did not want to see, and I never asked for, was a Jason Segel sex tape. Ever. I like the dude. He's funny. I just don't see him in that light, and I could never see him in that light. And Cameron Diaz, my God, stop trying to act so young. Girl, you don't need to. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's just extremely, extremely awkward and annoying. That is sex tape in a nutshell. And you should never see it. Not even if you're morbidly curious, you should not even see it. Just skip it. Skip it. And now, here we are at the #1 spot. And this film, it held the record for the worst film that I saw all year. No other film ever came close to this one. And you all have heard me talk about it numerous upon numerous times. I mean, Sex Tape almost came close. Almost. But just the fact that Hollywood continues to shoot shit like this out every January is not only disheartening, but just a spit in the face. And what film am I talking about? The Legend of Hercules. What the fuck do I need to say about this film? Like, I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to acknowledge its existence. You know what? Put a censor bar. Put something there besides the picture. Alright, good. I don't want to talk about this film. I don't want to acknowledge its existence. I don't want to even know about it. That's how bad it was. Action scenes were the only good thing about it, and they rarely happen because it's not even about the action. It's not even about Hercules rising up to become the legend that he is. It's a fucking love story. At the end of the day, The Legend of Hercules is just an example of the bad practices of Hollywood shooting out shit upon shit and expecting people to pay for it. $11.75. They might as well just take a paycheck and say, here, you can watch The Legend of Hercules 15 times now. It's the bottom of the barrel. It's the lowest of the low. It is, without a doubt, the worst film I've seen in 2014. And after this video ends, I will never speak of it. I will never think about it. I won't even stare at it. I won't even look at my video. I will completely forget about it because I don't want to think about this movie ever again. And Killing Lutz, stay out of movies. Get away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my top 10 list of the worst films I saw in 2014. And I would like to know what you guys thought about this list. Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? Did you feel like I left any shitty movies out? And let me know what was the worst film you saw in 2014. Comment below, let me know. And stay tuned tonight guys, it's finally here. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the BCG 30,000 subscribers celebratory end of year live chat with a whole lot of special guests coming in the woodwork. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. And until that comes, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew and not miss out on a single top 10 or video coming your way, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Watt II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.